Hey guys, here's a new show idea I kind of got for you guys. I usually end up buying some sort of diecast every month online. So I decided maybe I'll start doing, instead of diecast reviews, which they've gotten kind of boring, maybe not an unboxing video, but here's let's just do a little showcase of what I scored on eBay. So I'm just gonna go through, show you what I've added to my my diecast collection, if you guys are interested in that. So let's get this started. All right. So before I get started, one thing that I have noticed about these cars is they were definitely owned by a kid at some point, because a lot of them, they all have a little bit of wear and tear, and some of them are in just pretty bad condition. But not saying that's a bad thing. This whole lot, not counting shipping and handling, 32 diecasts, it was $18. So, pretty good score. So it's kind of expected that that some of the cars are gonna have some wear and tear. So this might actually be a kind of long video with how many diecasts there are, but let's get started. All right, first one, just reaching in the box, grabbing one randomly. We have, I actually don't know the driver on this one. Mike Skinner's number 4 Kodak car, but it's the Looney Tunes one. I've actually tried to start collecting all of the Looney Tunes diecasts. I have up on my wall, I've got Steve Parks' car, Jeff Green, Terry Labonte, and Mike Skinner's cars. Robbie Gordon's cars from 2001, 2002. This is a 2002 one. So I'm getting closer to completing the collection. These cars are actually kind of hard to find. As you can see, there is quite a few scratches on this car. But, for a car that costs like 80 cents, whatever. And in stop motions, you won't be really looking at it from that close up, so it doesn't really matter. Next up, randomly grabbing one. Here is Scott Riggs' 2004 Harlem Globetrotters car. I actually own the Team Caliber one of this car, so this one is a duplicate, but I like this body better. What made this? Racing Champions, that's who it is. Their body is just better, because the Team Caliber ones were always like really wide, and they never put taillight decals on them, which is stupid, and I hated it, even as a kid. This one also has dings and scratches on the car. This is a nice paint scheme, though, but overall, good find. I like this paint scheme, so that's cool. Next in the box. Oh, here we go. Here's one that I always wanted. Todd Bodine's 2003 National Guard car. This one's one of the worst looking ones. It's got some pretty decent sized chunks taken out of the paint in the nose. But this is a really cool paint scheme. I've always liked it. And I did not even know they made a diecast of it. So I actually forgot I bought this one because there were so many diecasts in this lot that when I opened up, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know I bought that. So it's kind of the story of my life when it comes to buying diecasts. There we go. On to the next one. Reaching into the box, we've got Joe Nemechek's 1990, I believe, 8 Bell South car. This is another duplicate one I have. I have his 1997 Bell South scheme, made by, I can't tell from looking at the box up on top of my desk, but I have the one with the opening hood. And it might be a slightly different one. I don't know. I haven't looked at it very much. But this is another really good paint scheme. It's one that history's kind of forgotten, but it still looks really nice. Overall, I do like it, though, and it's a nice addition to the collection. All right. Here we go. I do not own a single... I own one diecast from 2004. It's hard to believe. No, I have 2 or 3. But I've never... I do not have a single 2004 Dodge until now. We've got Sterling Marlin's, I would say Coors Light, but it doesn't actually have the Coors Light branding on it, which, I mean, from a distance you can't even tell because it looks exactly like not the Sterling Marlin logo, the Coors Light logo. So, you know what, actually I lied. I do have a 2004 Dodge. I have Kyle Petty's car from 2004, but whatever. Matthew, edit that out. Yeah, this is, I've always liked the Coors Light schemes. These ones are really nice, and it's a good looking car, and it's actually in pretty good condition too, so that's nice. Alright, next up, here's another one. Despite 2003 being one of my favorite years for paint schemes, I don't have a lot of 2003 cars, but there was a lot in this lot. We got Greg Biffle's Granger car from 2003, his rookie car. So this one shows off. I think I've talked about the problems with Hot Wheels brand diecasts from the early 2000s before, and this one perfectly exemplifies it. Hot Wheels used to do their cars, instead of just printing the decals on it, they had a solid bodied car, and then they had like kind of a wrap that went over it, like a clear film with all the logos and the paint scheme on it. And so when it chips off, it just looks, it's hard to tell here, but you can see the black spots through the headlights. I have a Terry Labonte's car from 2001, his Kellogg's car, which is one of my favorite paint schemes, and there's parts on the front where that wrap kind of peeled off, and so there's orange spots in the middle of the grill, and it's really noticeable. It doesn't look so bad when the color of the car, or the color of the part that's chipped off, is the same as the base scheme, but you'll see on a later diecast how that really doesn't work when the paint chips off, because like with a normal scheme, when it chips off, it's like usually the same color below it, or it's like gray, so it doesn't pop out much, but you'll see later how that can make cars look even worse printing them that way. This car, though, however, looks great. I've always liked this paint scheme. It doesn't have rookie stripes, which is kind of annoying, and there's nothing on the TV panel. But whatever. Overall, good car. I like it, and I don't have a lot of Greg Biffle diecasts, so we can add another one to the collection. Let's see. Here we go. 2005 is another. 2005 was the year that like I really got into NASCAR, and I started following the Cup and Busch Series super closely. It's surprisingly I don't have a lot of 2005 cars. Most of the ones I have are actually Busch Series ones, but here's another one to add to that. Clint Boyer's car from that year is AC Delco. What generic country artist is that? Chris Cagle. I don't know who the hell that is, but I don't listen to country music, as you can tell. This isn't one of my favorite paint schemes. It looks alright. I love the original AC Delco cars. I don't have a diecast of... Or I have the diecast, I think, of the 2001 Kevin Harvick one, but that's it. This car looks alright. It's more scratched up. It's pretty visible, you can tell, especially with the roof number being kind of scratched off, but it looks alright. I like it. So that's that. Let's see. Here we go. One of my favorite paint schemes. We got Jeff Green's AOL car. I have his 2003 car. I can't remember what brand it is. It's got the opening trunk, deck lid and hood. It's really cool. The 2002 scheme, though, I love this paint scheme. I've always liked the AOL cars. Blue and yellow are just a color combination that I like. So this is a car I like a lot. I have the Looney Tunes version of this one as well. So that's cool. This one actually, it's got some dings on the front end, but overall, looks good. Don't really care for the red side skirts, but whatever. Alright. Here we go. The 2003 Pontiac is one of my favorite body styles. I think everybody agrees with that. I have a couple of them, but they're the Team Caliber ones, so they're super wide and taller, and there's no taillights. This one, I have 3 of them in here, which is awesome, and they're on the Racing Champions body, so that's better. And the first one, and definitely the best of them, is Ricky Craven's Tide Ride, the car that famously won Darlington 2003. That being said, the nose kind of looks out of proportion on this model. The Pontiacs were notable for having like a much wider nose and a much sleeker nose, and a lot of the cars that were to come in the, I guess you could say, the Gen 4 era were modeled a lot after the Pontiac. It was kind of ahead of its time. This one doesn't really match it that well. The grille looks a little big, and the headlights look like they're printed too high up, and they're almost a little too small. But it's the Tide Ride. How can you hate the Tide Ride? I really like this car. The Tide car, I actually have a couple Ricky Rudd ones, and growing up I never cared for it, but as I've gotten older, I've just grown to appreciate this paint scheme more and more. And this is a really cool diecast, and it's a good addition to the collection. Here we go. This is one that I didn't even know existed. Jeff Fuller's Sunoco car from 1995. There we go. This one looks cool. I really like the 1995 Chevy body, especially on diecasts. They look really good. This one looks pretty good too. There's a couple of chips where here and there, but it looks all right. It looks like I have a lot of diecasts from like the late 90s that I had as a kid, and they're all scratched up in a similar way, so this one literally fits right in with all the other older diecasts that I have. So yeah, I like this car. It's just a simple paint scheme, but it looks good, so there we go. Running out of space on my desk. Too many diecasts. Here we go. 2004 Johnny Sauter's number 27 Kleenex Chevy. This is another car that I forgot existed. I couldn't even remember that this car ran on a Chevy body. I thought it always ran on a Ford. And I also, Johnny Sauter's career before, in between 2002 and 2008 is really forgettable. Like, I always forget that he was a Cup Rookie of the Year contender in 2004. Yeah, that's that. But this car looks nice. I like it. Blue and white is another color scheme that works really well. And it's not the best paint scheme, but it looks good. And yeah, so there we go. All right, take 3. So when I was recording for the number 77 car that I'm about to show you, the first time my camera ran out of memory card space. And I didn't notice until I was halfway through the next car. And so then I did it again, and then I didn't notice my camera. Apparently my memory card can't keep up with my camera sometimes, so it just automatically stops recording. So it stopped recording halfway through it again. So this is take 3, so sorry if I sound a bit frustrated, but I'm sick of talking about this car. And you'll understand why. It's because this is a car that I already have 2 of. This is my 3rd version of this car. I have one that's a little bit different, but now I have 3. And it's Robert Pressley's number 77 car from 1998. I really liked this scheme as a kid. As I've gotten older, I don't really care for it as much anymore. As for the diecasts that I own, I have like a special scheme, I think, where it's like more purple and it has like an engine on the side. I don't know. I can't find it. It's in my case right next to me, but I honestly just can't be bothered to get up. Plus, I have to like climb over my camera tripod with how I'm set up here. Then I have the Team Caliber one, which I've never liked Team Caliber's diecasts. They're always bigger than the other cars, and they don't put taillight decals on their cars for some reason. Anyway, they print it. It's like the wrong shade of blue, too. It's like a lighter shade of blue. And this one's definitely the best out of all of them, but even that I still really can't get excited about because I'm just like, wow, I already have 3. Now I have 3 of these cars. So had I had the opportunity, I probably wouldn't have bought this. But yeah, so that's that. And I'm finally done talking about this car. It only took me 3 tries. There we go. Up next is a contender for the oldest diecast that I own. Second to, I think, my Days of Thunder cars, which are from 91. This is Kenny Wallace's car from 1992, his Dirt Devil number 36. I believe at the beginning of the year he was going to drive for like a number 20 team, but the team shut down before the season even started, so then he ended up in this one. That's all I know about the history of this car. For the diecast itself, the early 90s cars are kind of awkwardly made. As you can see, the wheels like stick out of the fenders, and the nose is really skinny for some reason. It's an overall, I mean, for its time, it's pretty good, but it's aged pretty poorly, I'd say. So, but I mean, that's to be expected. You know, stuff's gonna get better over time. So, it's a good car though. I don't want it to seem like I'm ragging on it. Next up, one of the 2 car of tomorrows in this lot. This one's a little bit torn up. It's Jamie McMurray's Irwin car from 2008. I don't really like this paint scheme very much. I didn't get to see it a lot on TV because Jamie McMurray was too busy running 25th in 2008. This car is not in the best condition, especially the nose, as you can see. But it is a nice add to my car of tomorrow collection, which is pretty small. I don't have a lot of car of tomorrows because that was right in the era where I was starting to hit high school, so I stopped, like I couldn't collect anymore, and people stopped buying me diecasts for like birthdays and Christmas and whatever. And what's funny is the car of tomorrow era like ended like right as I got out of high school. So then when I got a job and I started picking up diecasts again was right with the Gen 6 era. So the car of tomorrow era I kind of missed. So this is a nice addition, though. It'll go good. It like I said, it's kind of torn up, but whatever. You know, for a car that costs less than $1, it's a nice find. So there we go. Next up, I have Jimmy Spencer's car from 2003, the Sirius car. I've always liked this paint scheme. There's not a lot of like powder blue cars. Couldn't I hate the owner of this car, Jim Smith. He's a douchebag. Screw that guy. But this is a nice looking car. If there's one thing I've noticed about these models of cars, though, is that the roof looks kind of crunched, almost. Like, it looks really low. So, this is another one with, it's got bits of wear and tear on it, but it's not that noticeable, and it should look fine in a stop motion. So there you go. Alright, what can I find next? Here we go. This is another car that I have duplicates of, surprisingly. I bought this car on eBay previously. I think these are both like scratched in the same place too. But anyway, I wouldn't have bought this car if I could have avoided it, but whatever. It's Juan Pablo Montoya's 2007 big red car. It is the Cup Series 1, not the Busch Series 1. It's an alright car. I really liked the mold for the 2007 Dodges. They look really good. Again, this is kind of an era of diecasts that I missed. I have a couple other Montoya diecasts. I have more Montoya diecasts than I thought I would. But I like this one. It's on the best body style. It's not, the left rear is kind of smashed in, but whatever. I have a better version of this car, so it doesn't really matter if it's in bad shape. So that's that. Alright. Here we go. I still don't have the primary for this car. I have like all of the special schemes for this car, but it's Ken Schrader's 2000 M&M's Patriotic car. This is a nice Patriotic scheme. I have a mixed relationship with the M&M's paint schemes. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. That being said, I don't own any of them, I don't think. Maybe I own one of them. I own Kyle Busch's car from 2008, and I think there's an M&M's car in this lot too, but other than that, I don't have any of them. I have all the special schemes like this one, and the Snickers Cruncher one that Schrader ran in 2001. Overall, though, it's a good car. It's got quite a bit of scratches on the right side, especially on the fender, you can see, and the rear bumper. But again, it's a car from 2000, and it was probably owned by a kid at some point. A lot of my cars from that same era look the same way. So there we go. And here we go. Speaking of the number 36, I have Hank Parker Jr.'s Patriotic GNC car from 2001. I have his 2002 car, I think, whichever one he ran on a Chevy body. That's like almost solid white. This is a nice scheme, though. I've always liked this car. The hood opens, but it doesn't want to open, as you can see. Also, it's weird to see colored rims on diecasts from the early 2000s. They didn't do that a lot. This is another early 2000s car that's kind of scratched up a bit, but looks alright. I might use it if I ever start doing Cup Series diecasts again. So, there we go. Reach into the box. Oh, speak of the devil, there's that M&M's car I was talking about. Elliott Sadler's 2007... Wait, is it Elliott Sadler? Yeah, Elliott Sadler's 2006 car. I have almost no diecasts from 2006. I have like 4 or 5. Most of them are Fords, though, but they're all Team Caliber ones, so they're crap. This is the only action Ford Fusion from 2006 that I own, which seems kind of specific, but I mean, this car was only on this body in the Cup Series for 2 years. I have like one from 2007 on this body. That's Ricky Rudd's car. So I have both Yates cars. So there we go. This is a good diecast. Again, it's got a few chips on the nose that are a little noticeable. And you can see the grill's printed really crooked. It's like an unusual mistake from these guys. But yeah, there we go. This car's nice. And it's...
Because you can see it's kind of rare because Elliot stopped driving this car later in the year. So there we go.
That was my Zoolander voice. Unintentionally, it was Derek Zoolander. Let's see. Here we go. This one clearly came out of a cereal box, and it's also beat to crap. It's Stacy Compton's car from 2001. I actually own the version of this car. I think that... No, actually I don't. I own the other clean one that has, like, the Melling Racing logos on it. Except that one's in a lot better shape, and it wasn't out of a cereal box like this one. That being said... I have almost all of the 2001 Dodges that they put in cereal boxes. Now, if you don't know, when Dodge made its return in 2001, they released the majority of the cars they had through the Cheerios brand. Like, you could find their cars in boxes. So I have John Andretti's Cheerios car. I have Bill Elliott and Jeremy Mayfield's cars. I have... There's one other one I have. I think... Oh, it's Kyle Petty's 45 car. And then there's this one, which I didn't own up until now. I have this diecast, but I didn't have the one you could find in, like, the cereal boxes. So it's actually kind of a collection on its own. I don't know if they ever made the Ganassi ones or if they ever made the Bill Davis Racing one. I could probably look into it, but I've just never bothered to. But yeah, so I have most of them now. But like I said, I have the Action Racing Collectibles one of this car, which actually looks better and it's in better shape. I think I used it in the Pennzoil Cup series. Pretty sure I did, but so yeah, it's a nice addition to the collection. So there we go. What's next? Here we go. I think this one's from 2000. That's what it says. This is, oh, wow. So, this is Joe Nemechek's KMart car, but I believe he drove this car in 2001. I don't think he actually drove it in 2000. Actually, no, it is 2000. That is correct. But I could have swore he drove this car in, like, 2002. I can't remember. I'll have to look into it. All I know is that this is a paint scheme that I like. It's very simple, but this car's kind of scratched up. And for years, I thought this was a Roush car. Because it's number 26, and Roush has historically used 26 on a few occasions. This is not. It's a Haas Carter car. Their history's kind of confusing. I can't remember. Joe Nemechek took over the car for like 2 races, I think, in 2002, and then they shut down. It was 2002 or 2003. I can't remember. It wasn't 2003 because he was driving for Hendrick that year. So I thought this one was a Todd Bodine one, but it's not. It's actually a Joe Nemechek one. So I'll have to look into it. Matthew, edit in what year this car is from on the screen. There you go. Good diecast, just in bad shape. Wow, I've been recording for 28 minutes. This is going to be a long video. Here we go. Here's another one of the 2003 Pontiacs. I also own the Team Caliber version of the regular paint scheme, but I did not have this one. It's Jerry Nadeau's Army car from 2003, but it's the camouflage version. This one's probably in the worst shape of all of the 2003 Pontiacs that I got. Roof's pretty scratched up. The nose is almost incomprehensible. That being said, it's a nice addition. And again, like I said, it's a cheap diecast, so it's alright if it's torn up. There we go. Next up. Here we go. I already own the primary version of this paint scheme, but now I have the special edition one. It's the Tabasco Fiasco. If you don't know about the Tabasco Fiasco, I'll put a link to an article about it. Basically, this was a team that came in with a lot of hype and a huge marketing budget from Tabasco and had crap cars and just ran like garbage and DNQ'd for every race, and there was a bunch of off-track drama and whatever. It's a really interesting read. I'll link to it on the screen. Driver was Todd Bodine. He got dumped midway through the year for Darrell Waltrip when the two teams merged, and they switched from Pontiac to Chevy, and Tabasco was like, no, you can't drive Chevys because our whole marketing department's about Pontiac. But the Pontiacs they had were crap, and the Chevys were actually good, so Tabasco literally forced the team to use their crappy cars. That being said, they actually had really good-looking paint schemes. This one I like. I like the primary as well, and there's also there's like a black and green one also that I don't have, but I've been looking for. But I'd like to get all the Tabasco Fiasco cars, so there we go. Look into it. It's a really funny story. Here we go. Here's a paint scheme that everybody agrees is a masterpiece. This one is from 1990. It says 98, but I believe it's 2000. It's Dave Blaney's Amoco car from 2000, I think? 99 or 2000. He ran this paint scheme on a Dodge of 2001, which made it look even better. This is a really nice paint scheme, though. Diecast is actually in really good shape. It has a few scratches here and there, but I love this body of Pontiac. Not as much as the 2003 one, but it still looks really good. and this is a really good car, and I'm really glad I got it. I'm still looking for his 2001. That's on a Dodge body, which looks even better. But this is a nice paint scheme. So there we go. We're getting there. We're almost done. We only got about 6 or 7 left. Oh my god, this is a lot of cars, and this is a long video. If you're still watching, I appreciate that. Alright, next up we have another one of the ones that's pretty old. I have multiple ones of this car too, but I don't have one from this far back. It's Sterling Marlin's car from 1995. Despite being one of the older cars in the lot that I bought, it's actually in really good shape. So you can see there's just a couple scratches on the spoiler and one on the hood. It's got rubber tires, so that's nice. Yeah, it looks really good, and I'm really happy how well it came out, so there we go. Next up, like I said, how I have a bunch of Juan Pablo Montoya cars. This is actually the second and last of the car tomorrows that I got. It's Montoya's car from 2007. I think it's from... Actually, no, you know what? This one is from... Okay, so this is from 2008, but for some reason, the 2008 Dodges still have the Avenger grille and headlights, despite having the Charger bumper decal. So these ones are wrong. I have Newman's car, and I think... No, I have Kurt Busch's car from 2007, but I have Newman's car from 2008, and it's just wrong. They didn't fix it till 2009, which is just lame. This was one of the few times that Action got things wrong. Usually they were really consistent. But it looks almost identical to his 2007 car. It doesn't have the little ghost flames down the side, but whatever. It's a good looking diecast. It's a little torn up, but I mean it's black, so you can fill those in with Sharpie if you want. Yeah, so that's that. Next up, we have another one of the 36 cars. This one says it's from 96, but I have a feeling it's from later. It's Ernie Irvan's Skittles car. This is another paint scheme that everybody kind of agrees is a masterpiece. I like it. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but if you know me well, I am a fan of rainbow-colored paint schemes. And this one looks good. The lack of purple irritates me, so it's not a complete rainbow. But this one's in really good shape. Looks really nice, and it's a good paint scheme. So there we go. Swervin' Irvan. Now have one of his diecasts. Next up, we have Jerry Nadeau's car from 2002, the Looney Tunes one with Speedy Gonzales on it. Nadeau was one of my favorite drivers of the early 2000s. It's a shame that his career didn't go on for much longer, but I always loved his paint schemes. This is a good-looking car. I have the one... Not 18th. The one... Whatever's between 24th and 64th scale one. And I'm getting closer to having all the Looney Tunes cars, so that's good. It's not my favorite paint scheme, but I do like it. It stands out, definitely. So, there we go. Alright, third to last in this collection, I have David Green's car from 1996. I actually own this diecast already. It's on, like I was saying... Oh, oops, bumped the microphone there. It's on this body style. So now I have 2 of them. So this one's definitely the better quality one. It's got rubber tires. It's real metal. It's more scratched up, though. So I have mixed feelings about it. This is a paint scheme I like, though. I'd like to get the number 95 Busch car he ran the year before. And I think it's kind of funny. He ran the 95 in 1995 and then the 96 in 96. So, yep. Overall, I like this car. So, whoop. Don't want to knock anything off. All right. Next up, here we go. Got Kenny Irwin Jr.'s car from, what year is this from? 1998. There we go. I actually already have this car. I have this exact same diecast, except with the windshield kind of cracked out of it. I think it's the exact same one. It's either his 98 or 99 car. I really like this paint scheme. It's grown on me a lot as I've gotten older. I didn't really care for it growing up. This is a really nice diecast, though. I really like it. And it's in pretty good shape, too. Only a couple dings and scratches here and there. So, overall, this one's really nice. Alright, finally, last car in the box. No, I lied. There's 2 more. This is the one I was talking about earlier in the video, about how Hot Wheels makes their cars. This is Ryan Newman's car from 2002, okay? So, I'm gonna put it rear first. As you can see, there's nothing on the TV panel. Hot Wheels likes to do that. It's got the rookie stripes and everything. It looks nice. And then you get to the front end. Let me just zoom in on that for you. This is the problem with how Hot Wheels used to make their diecasts. Like I was saying, it's like a clear film they put over the whole car with a paint scheme. The base of the car is black. So when that peels off, when the white part peels off, you have these huge black spots all over the front of the car. And that, it's a shame. As for the diecast itself, the wheels are tiny on this thing and really recessed into the body. It looks weird. Let me focus that. The rear axle's not put together properly. It's not a very good diecast, as you can tell. Like I said, I don't have this car. I have the 2006 Mobil 1 car, but yeah, this one's pretty bad. And I'm not blaming the guy I bought it from for it being damaged. It's fine. But it just proves why Hot Wheels, their method of making diecasts was not the right way to do it. Okay, now for the actual last one, and I'm feeling around the box. This is it. And a great way to finish it with a diecast I didn't even know existed. It's of a paint scheme that I love, and I think that everybody loves on one of the most beloved bodies of all time. It's Jack Sprague's number 0 Net Zero car from 2003. Now, if you weren't following a NASCAR in 2003, it was kind of a big splash that there was a car using the number 0. The number 0 hadn't been used for a while, and Jack Sprague was a pretty highly touted guy, and then he came in, and he pretty much wrecked every single car that was given to him, and he was fired midway through the year. Anyway, this is a great-looking paint scheme. It's pretty much considered an all-time classic in the NASCAR circle. As for the diecast, it's in pretty good shape, too. Just, oh, God. Ugh. Sorry. A couple scratches here and there. It's a really good car, and if I ever start making Cup Series stop motions again, I will definitely use this diecast. So, there we go. So, that is that. That is a... Oh, my God, I've been recording for almost 40 minutes. That was my eBay scores for September. Hopefully you guys like this kind of video. If you guys want me to keep doing these, please tell me. I will keep doing these. And maybe I'll do a video of my diecast collection right now and showing you what I got. And, yeah. So, thank you for watching, you guys. Also, because I know somebody's going to ask me, quick update on the next Makita Truck Series race. I'm in the process of finishing up the track. I haven't started filming yet, but I've done most of the work on the track, but I've been kind of busy recently. So I'm going to start, or hopefully I will start filming soon, but I don't want to make any false promises or anything. So again, thank you for continuing to support me and my channel, and we'll see you next time.